Welcome back, folks. It is a wonderful Wednesday evening. I'm Josephine Sage. Let's jump right into the forecast right now as we take a look outside at America's Mattress Live Tower Cam. We've got these beautiful blue clear skies that are continuing with us through these early evening hours. And late this evening, once that sun sets, we're still expecting those clear skies through those hours. And even as we wake up tomorrow, we're going to wrap up the work week with lots and lots of sunshine. Now, these weather headlines are going to show us that we're expecting temperatures just right around those seasonal averages with elevated moisture levels, especially in those higher elevation areas, which also this weekend are actually going to get down into those sub-freezing ranges. That's right, we're going to get to that 32-degree range and even a little bit below. So if you haven't brought those plants inside or haven't covered them up, make sure you do that before that Saturday and Sunday rolls around. And as we take a look a little bit more nationally, we're going to notice we've got this Pacific Northwest low that's starting to move on in. And as this is moving on in, it's going to turn into a short wave very, very soon. And when that happens, that flow is going to shift a little bit more to head a little bit more eastward. And we actually have a little bit of some action happening to the south of us as well, but focusing a little bit more on that low pressure system zooming on in. We've got a lot of action over those northern mountain areas, even some snow through Montana. Those afternoon hours, it's going to start to rotate again towards that northwest region of the United States and leave us with some pretty clear skies. Maybe Salt Lake City is going to get a little bit of action, but we're expecting clear skies, maybe with some elevated winds though, because as we look further south, this system, this moisture pushing through that Four Corners region, that Durango, that Alamosa area, it's going to start to fight with that low pressure system to cause some wind speeds that are a little bit more elevated. But as we look to the north of Texas and through Oklahoma and into Kansas, that's where those strong to severe storms are actually possible tomorrow. Now, I do want to chat about this year's rain totals. We're at 5.69 inches in Grand Junction instead of that typical 6.42 today. And Montrose, 4.46 is what has been recorded year to date today compared to that typical 5.82. As we get closer and closer to that autumn season, though, is when these are going to start to shift and we'll get a little bit more moisture closer to those normal levels through the rest of September and getting into October. And that total snow coverage in some of those regions above 8,000 feet is actually at just about a quarter of an inch over Telluride and over Aspen. So those mountain passes are definitely snowy, definitely slushy if you have those weekend plans, especially with those cooler temperatures. Please drive safe on those roads. Now, currently it's still on that warmer side of things at 81 degrees in Grand Junction, 76 in Montrose, even still 83 in Moab, which means we're right around those seasonal averages. Even from earlier today, that high was right around those seasonal averages at 83 instead of 80, and that low end of things tonight, 52 instead of that typical 51. And like I mentioned, those wind gusts are going to start to elevate. So from the last 12 hours, those top wind gusts have been 19 miles an hour in Grand Junction, 36 miles an hour in Moab, Gunnison at 30 miles an hour, and we're actually going to continue to have these, well, varying wind speeds for about the next 24 to 48 hours, wrapping up the work week. Tonight, we're going to get down to 56 in Grand Junction and 51 in Montrose, 58 in Moab. And I want to remind you, tomorrow, folks, is the last Market on Main here in downtown Grand Junction. So with that in mind, it's going to be 82 degrees tomorrow and lots of sunshine. So come and meet us downtown. We'll be there live. There's going to be all those fresh produce vendors, all those local vendors, and of course, rhythm and blues in the later evening hours. And Montrose is just a few degrees cooler, hanging out in those 70s. And even that coolest day so far on Saturday into that Sunday with a low of 42.